Before you head into the wild, there's one thing you should know. Some of the most annoying camping problems have surprisingly clever solutions. The gear in this video isn't about adding more stuff to your backpack. It's about fixing those little frustrations that can turn a great trip into a lot more work. From tools that replace an entire handful of equipment to gadgets that clean, light, power, and even move your campsite for you. These are the kinds of upgrades you don't appreciate until you actually need them. And by the end, you might start wondering how you ever camped without some of them. You'll find links to every product in the description below. Gerber Stakeout Drive. Camping doesn't usually go wrong in a dramatic way. It's the tiny problems that get you. A loose screw, a snap cord, something that needs cutting, tightening, or fixing when your toolbox is sitting miles away. That's where the Gerber Stakeout Drive makes a lot of sense. At first, it looks like a compact multi-tool. But instead of carrying separate tools for every little campsite problem, it puts multiple functions into one small package, including pliers, a knife, scissors, a driver, and other useful tools. And that's the clever part. You don't need a toolbox when the toolbox can fit on your gear. Keep it attached to your pack, and suddenly those annoying little repairs become quick jobs instead of reasons to unpack half your camping equipment. It's the kind of gadget you might completely ignore while packing until something breaks. But fixing things isn't the only boring camping job that can ruin the experience. Because after you finish cooking, there's another problem waiting for you. Misshappy electric barbecue grill brush. The food is finished. Everyone's eaten. And now you get the worst part, cleaning the grill. Burned-on grease and leftover food can turn a relaxing campsite dinner into a serious scrubbing session. The Misshappy electric barbecue grill brush takes a surprisingly simple approach. Let the motor do the hard work. Instead of manually attacking every stuck-on patch with a traditional brush, its powered rotating cleaning head helps break down residue as you move it across the grill. And that's what makes this useful for camping. It's not trying to make your barbecue more complicated. It's trying to make the part nobody wants to do much easier. You finish cooking, run the powered brush across the surface, and you're already closer to packing everything away. A small upgrade, but one that can save a lot of effort over repeated trips. And once the grill is clean, the sun starts disappearing. That's when another simple camping problem becomes very obvious. You suddenly can't see anything. OGERY retractable solar string lights. Camping at night is great until your campsite disappears into the darkness. You could carry separate lanterns and lights everywhere. Or you could turn the entire campsite into one organized lighting system. That's the idea behind the OGERY retractable solar string lights. Instead of throwing a loose 49-foot cable into your camping box and discovering a tangled mess later, the lights retract into their own housing when you're finished. Pull them out and you can run them around your tent, shelter, table, or campsite. And because they're solar-powered, you don't have to keep hunting for batteries or an outlet just to keep the campsite illuminated. With 11 lighting modes, they can switch between practical illumination and a more relaxed campsite atmosphere. But the smartest part might actually be what happens when you're done using them. The lights disappear back into the housing instead of becoming another tangled problem. And once you've made the campsite easier to set up at night, there's one more thing that can make or break the whole trip. We're going to sleep. Kelty Eclipse 15 Sleeping Bag. A sleeping bag keeps you warm, but that doesn't necessarily mean it feels comfortable. If you've ever spent a night feeling trapped inside a narrow sleeping bag, the Kelty Eclipse 15 takes almost the opposite approach. Instead of making you squeeze into a traditional mummy-style shape, it gives you a much more spacious sleeping area with an oversized design, raised sidewalls, and a wide footbox. And then there's the detail that makes it even more interesting. There's no traditional zipper getting in your way. The zipperless design helps avoid snags and uncomfortable cold spots, while the built-in hood is designed to keep your pillow in place. There's even a self-sealing foot vent, so when the night gets warmer, you can stick your feet out without completely abandoning the sleeping bag. So this isn't simply about making a sleeping bag warmer. It's about making outdoor sleeping feel a little less like sleeping outdoors. And once you've solved the problem of getting comfortable, there's one thing you absolutely don't want to wake up to: a dead phone, camera, or GPS. AFERIY Nano 100 Solar Power Bank. Nothing makes you appreciate electricity like losing it in the middle of nowhere. The AFERY Nano 100 takes the portable power station idea and shrinks it into something much easier to bring along. With a 99.2 Wh LiFePO4 battery and up to 100 W output, it's designed to handle the small electronics you actually rely on while camping: phones, cameras, lights, laptops, and other devices. But the interesting part is that you're not completely dependent on a wall outlet. Pair it with solar charging, and you can replenish the battery while you're still outdoors. So instead of carrying a huge power station just to keep a few devices alive, you get a compact source of off-grid electricity that can fit into a backpack, vehicle, or camping box. It's the kind of gadget that feels unnecessary right up until your battery hits 2%. But keeping your electronics powered is one thing. What about everything else you're carrying? Because there's a much bigger problem when you arrive at camp: moving all of it. Motorized electric camping wagon. Imagine arriving at your campsite with hundreds of pounds of gear and realizing you don't actually have to carry it. That's where the e-Beach Wagon gets interesting. This isn't just a bigger camping cart. It's a motorized utility wagon designed to move the heavy stuff for you. Its 48-volt, 800-watt motor can haul up to 350 pounds, while its balloon-style wheels are designed to handle surfaces like sand, grass, gravel, and pavement. And instead of taking off uncontrollably, it has multiple speed settings, allowing it to move at a comfortable walking pace. The removable LiFePO4 battery can provide up to around 25 miles of range, depending on conditions, and built-in USB ports can help keep your devices charged while you're moving. But the cleverest part is what happens when you reach the campsite. The wagon doesn't become useless once the gear is unloaded. Its 4-in-1 design can transform into a wagon, bench, table, or flatbed utility cart. So the same machine that brought your tent, cooler, and chairs to the campsite can become part of the campsite itself. And that's a pretty serious upgrade from simply pulling a wagon. And that's what makes these camping gadgets so interesting. They don't try to reinvent camping. They attack the annoying parts of it. The repairs you don't want to deal with. The grill you don't want to clean, the tangled lights, the uncomfortable night, the dying battery, and the mountain of gear you don't want to carry. Each one takes a familiar camping problem and approaches it from a completely different angle. So which one would actually make your next camping trip easier? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed discovering these innovative camping technologies, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on a notification bell so you never miss our next video. Thanks for watching.